Hey everyone, welcome to Sipping Tea with Show. I am Shanada, and in this video today, I want to talk to you about my transition to becoming an LPN. But before I get started on my tea, let me take a sip. Oh my gosh, that is really good. That's my first time trying that, but it's really good. So, as I stated in my first video, I started out as an LPN. And I never thought that I would go back to school for an LPN. It's nothing against LPNs. I just knew that I wanted to be an RN, and I didn't want to, at the time, my mentality was I didn't want to waste my time going to school for an LPN when I really wanted to be an RN. But what happened for me was my children was getting older. I was working as a CNA, and I could no longer afford to support us on a CNA salary. And something had to give, had to make a decision that was going to benefit us. And before I get started on why I chose an LPN and all of that stuff, I just want to say, excuse me, with everything that I say to you, it's always coming from my perspective. I'm just telling you things that happened to me, good and bad. When you are making the decision of either what school you're going to go to, what are you going to go for, and all of those things, you just have to do what's best for you. Everyone is going to have an opinion about it, but in the end, excuse me, you have to do what's best for you and your family. So take the advice that you get with a grain of salt. The stuff that you can utilize, you take it in. The stuff that you can't utilize, you dump it out. So with that being said, I found out about this nursing program. The program was 11 months, it was full time, and there was no wiggle room for mistakes. So I started the process of applying to this program. I sent in my application, my letters of recommendation, and all of that. And since this program was Monday through Friday, and it was during the day, I just knew that this is it. This is my last stop. Like, I have to get through this program for my family. So once I got my acceptance letter, I moved in with my mom, and the three of us, my children and I, we moved into one bedroom in her house because I knew that this was going to be a temporary stay. I wanted us to be as uncomfortable as possible because when I finished that program, I was going to be gone. So after I got the acceptance letter, I moved in with my mom. As I stated before, the program was Monday through Friday. It was the strictest program I've ever been in. And I'm glad that this program had the type of rules that it had because it molded me. It helped me to get rid of some bad habits that I had. For instance, with this program, it was Monday through Friday. Your clinicals were Monday and Friday mornings, I believe. And then you had classroom Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You had to be at your desk, in your seat at 8:30. If you were not at your desk, in your seat at 8:30, and it was test day, you would be marked I think you would either be marked absent or late, but anywho, you would have to take a makeup test. And for the makeup test, the highest grade that you can get was a 76. It didn't matter if you got all the questions right. The highest grade you can get is a 76. So with knowing that, it forced me to make sure that I was at school, in my seat, and I was on time. And then also, with the program being 11 months, we only were allowed 5 school days that we were able to miss. I did miss a day or two, but when I missed time at school, it was for a really good reason. So I was able to get through that program. I graduated, I want to say May, and then I took my boards, I think June, because it took about a couple of weeks or so for me to get my confirmation letting me know that I was able to test. So I started working at a nursing home, and I should have known that this was a bad sign when I went into the nursing home to apply for the job. Um, I basically got the job with no interview, and it was full-time day shift. That was like a red flag. Now it's a red flag, but at the time I didn't look at it like that because I was hungry. I was hungry for money. I went from, with my very first job as an LPN, I went from making, I think I was making like $9 an hour as a CNA to 17.50. So that is a huge increase in pay. Huge. And of course, the overtime is there. Oh, another thing that I wanted to say, you may have some people that will say, oh, if I were you, I wouldn't go to school for an LPN because LPNs are going to phase them out. Let me tell you, that is a lie. That's not going to happen. Like, it seems like every year, every decade is some new statement that is being made about nurses or whatever, but they're not going to phase LPNs out. They need LPNs. LPNs are in the long-term care environment, and even at the hospital we have hired LPNs. So don't listen to anyone saying that they are going to phase LPNs out, because maybe where you are in your life, maybe you're not able to go back to school for an RN. Maybe you just need a little stepping stone to increase your finances. I would not rule out being an LPN. I would do it if it benefited my family. So yeah, I worked in not the hospital, I'm sorry, I worked in a nursing home. Um, oh my God, it was such a bad experience. It was such a bad experience. It was so bad that I got like 5 days orientation. And after my orientation was over, the very first day, I passed my morning medicine all day. From 6:30 a.m. until 2 o'clock p.m., I was passing morning meds. And the second day, I came up with a game plan. I thought, okay, I know who are my, not necessarily troublemakers. I just know who's more time consuming. I know who my AccuChecks are. So I came up with a game plan of how I was going to work that. Second day, same thing. And by this time, public health was in the building, and I was so intimidated because, again, I did not come from a nursing home background. All of this was new to me. I worked at a doctor's office for probably like 5 to 7 years. And I was only a CNA for a short amount of time. And when I was a CNA, I started out in the hospital, and then I did nursing home probably like the last 3 to 4 months of my nursing program. So that was very intimidating for me. And I just didn't like the stuff that I saw. And I ended up quitting because in my mind, I thought, well, I got this job so easy, so I'm going to get another one. But that wasn't the reality. I applied for other jobs. They just were not available. And it just so happens that this job, the job that I quit, ended up calling me back for something else. That's a whole nother story. But needless to say, I went back to that job, and that job molded me. That job prepared me for nursing. I am a firm believer that you cannot grow anywhere where you are comfortable. This job helped me to prioritize it. Even as an RN, if I go to an unfamiliar place, I'm not afraid. It's just like, tell me what you do on this floor, and that's all I need to know. Because at the end of the day, nursing is nursing. You just go back to the basics. Oh yeah, I know what I wanted to add. So after working as an LPN for about a year, I started the process of looking into different RN programs that I could bridge over, and I found one at the community college. And one thing I've heard is, like, with my community college, oh, I heard that's a bad school. I heard that they are racist. It was just a bunch of negativity. Again, when people tell you stuff, you have to take what people say with a grain of salt. I'm not minimizing anyone's experience. What someone experienced may not necessarily be my experience. What I experience may not necessarily be your experience. So you just have to take that stuff with a grain of salt. And then also, I know that people, when they are sharing things about their experience, I just know it's only natural that people tend to they tend to share the negative stuff before they will share the positive stuff. What I had heard about this program, that was not my experience at all. I would recommend anyone to go to the community college in my neighborhood. It was the best. I got accepted into this program. So for LPNs, like my community college, they genuinely take, I think they take 15 LPNs that start in the summer. Maybe it's like 15 or 20 or something like that. They start in the summer, and we started off with our pediatric and OB classes. So if you get through that, then here comes the fall semester. Now in the fall semester, you bridge over with the second year nursing students, and you have your other classes or whatever. This program, it allowed me to continue to work full time because it was doable. I had classes Monday mornings, Friday mornings, and one day in the week or whatever, I would have a clinical. I knew what my classes were going to be for the entire, well, I would say for the rest of the program, because when I started in the summer, it wasn't like that. So for the fall and spring semesters, I had class Mondays and Fridays and clinicals maybe like a Wednesday, a Thursday. I think I may have had clinical on a Tuesday also. And I went to class from 8 a.m. until 11:50. And when I tell you it was hard, it was hard. I would work Sunday night from, I think it was like 10:30 to 7 or something like that. I would get off work Monday morning. I would go straight to class, and I would get out of class at 11:50. I would go home, take a nap, get up when it was time for the kids to come home, eat, fix them dinner, maybe take a little nap before it was time for me to go back to work, and then I was back at work. One thing I do want to say about nursing school, I guess I'm just going to say this now. When you are making the decision to go to nursing school, some of the people that I've known who did not make it through nursing school, it's a combination of things. But the one thing that I have noticed is you cannot have it all when you're in nursing school. You will have to choose. It's either you're gonna attend every family function, every birthday, every anniversary, every get together, whatever, or you're going to be in nursing school. Now, there are some who are able to do all of that, but for the most part, nursing school requires 100% dedication. Like, you cannot half-ass it. If you do, it will show in your schoolwork, it will show in your clinicals, and I just know that that part there was a difficult transition for some people, because naturally we want to hang out with our friends and families, and either they will get it or they won't get it. And what I did for myself when I did the LPN program, like, I know me and I know what my distractions are. I decided that I wasn't going to date. I didn't want to date anyone. I did not want the distractions of being in a relationship, and if you're going through your ups and downs, I didn't want that to take a toll on my schoolwork. So I just made the decision that I wasn't going to date. And I didn't go to family functions because I feel like my family is my family. They're going to always be there. We can celebrate when this is over. And that helped me a lot. But I have known some people who they wanted to do it all. They wanted to have it all. And in the end, they paid the price with not moving along in the nursing program. So that's something that you can think about also. It's a decision that you have to make. The decision is tough. but the reward at the end of it is like no other. I am so grateful that I made the decisions that I made to put myself in a situation to get through nursing school successfully, because now I have job security for the rest of my life. As long as I don't do anything to jeopardize my license, and I wouldn't do anything to jeopardize my nursing license because I worked too hard for it, I have job security, you know, with my career. So I think that's it. I can't wait to bring you the next video. So let me know what you think. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed to my channel. If you have any questions, let me know. If it's something that you want me to discuss that I did not discuss, let me know. But until then, I will see you next time on Sippin' Tea with Show. I am Shanada.